Okay, so with Eden Hazard retiring recently, it got us thinking, what if players were never allowed to leave the Prem? The first time you make a Premier League appearance, you're stuck with that team for your career. Big names were never allowed to leave. What would the league table look like this season? We're using all the teams from last season, plus the newly promoted teams. But as Luton haven't got enough players to make a squad, they're becoming the best of the EFL. A team of players who made their Premier League debut for a club that are no longer in the Prem. Despite being ballers, Danny Parejo, Bellingham, Frimpong, Musiala and Facundo Ferreira never played in the Premier League for their English clubs, so they didn't make the cut. As for the teams, Bournemouth, Ramsdale, Danjuma, Wilson and Mings all returning to make them much stronger. Arsenal, a bunch of familiar faces with Chesney, Martinez, Gnabry, Giroud, Lacazette and Torreira making the front page. Lucas Perez is playing in the third division in Spain, so isn't in the game. Aston Villa, most are recent signings with the returning Grealish and Veretout being the only names to strengthen their front page. Brentford, new to the Prem, so most are still there. Losing Tony to his one game at Newcastle is massive, but Tarek Fosu and Charlie Good have come back to fill that void. Brighton, hardly any of their current young ballers are there due to their ratings, but being the big seller in recent time, there is a lot of returns. Chelsea, probably the most notably transformed team with KDB, Courtois, Salah, Rudiger all massively improving the team. No Nkunku, because as of the time of filming, he's yet to make his Premier League debut. The players they're missing are Bertrand, Gilmore, Gusto, Mudryk, Diogo Costa, Jackson, Lamptey, Bertrand Traore, Trevor Chalobah, Madueke, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi, Willian, Badiashile, Ampadu, Bakayoko, Van Aanholt and DeSanto. Crystal Palace, Saul of Mandanda and Wan-Bissaka return to form their own Fab Three. Not too many other returns, only Campagna really being of any note. Everton, Stones, Deulofeu and Digne are back, massively strengthen the team. No Alan or James Rodriguez on the game, but Umar Niasse makes a magical return. Fulham, Anguissa, Areola and Anderson return to boost the squad, and some serious young talent returns in Moussa Dembele, Harvey Elliott, Ryan Sessegnon and Fabio Carvalho. Leeds, Rafinha, Phillips, Milner and Adams make the big transformations. Aaron Lennon just retired, so he isn't involved, but big Scott Carson is. Leicester, the underdog team is back. Kante, Mahrez and Schmeichel reunite with Vardy and co, not forgetting Shinji Okazaki. And at that time, the third most expensive transfer in Adrian Silva now plays in the UAE, so isn't on the game. Liverpool, with Jota, Mane and Salah gone, Liverpool's reinforcements came via Iago Aspas, Raheem Sterling and Luis Suarez. Chan, Coutinho, Suso and Coates are the other decent returnees. Man City, not many players coming back into the first team, with Savic and Sané being the only two to make the front page. But a few recognisable names as the squad list went on. Shockingly, no space for Felipe Caicedo though. Man United, CR7 is back for a third go. De Gea, Depay, Pogba, Di Maria and Smalling all join him, with a handful of good players also coming back. Had to include these two for providing 2 moments of Premier League year's magic. Newcastle, Marino, St. Maximin, Tony, Wijnaldum and Mbemba strengthen the front page, with a couple of blasts from the past making the rest of the squad. Anyone else remember when Pardew just got hard on for French players and raided Ligue 1? The best aerial player in world football returns to see if he can seal another £35 million move. Nottingham Forest, similar to others in that they're new, so there's not many players left. Navas, Frula and Lodi being the only ones to come back into the first page. Southampton, God dear, what a change. Big names all over the place. You'd have to go to the 26th name on the list to find a player who is currently still playing for them. That being Shea Adams.
Shea Adams.
So stacked, we had to keep out this legend. Spurs, the big two are back. Kane and Modric. Huge names. Walker, Eriksson and Superyan are all back as Spurs look to be a serious threat in this experiment. West Ham, only 4 players on the front page still play as Rice, João Mario, Arnautovic, Haller, Felipe Anderson and Payet all complete a list of big names returning to the Hammers. Wolves go even harder than West Ham and only have Cunha, Sarr and Sarabia still playing for them from their front list. Jota, Neves and Guedes looking to fire them through this experiment. Burnley, a naughty little Daichi squad.
Title fight? Get in there!
With K-Trips in his whips, Popey, Tarks, me, Collins, Ings, Cornet, McNeil and Harry Potter's Veghorst coming back for a final hurrah. Sheffield United, not a huge amount of change, Henderson and Berger being the only 2 big changes to the squad. And Dyer is back and so is Jags. Record signing Brewster only makes the bench and Makario Zivkovic isn't on the game. And finally, the EFL team. Luton, a bunch of talent, Robbo being a standout, but an overall solid team from memory lane. Harrison Maguire is out of the Manchester limelight, but unfortunately no space for these ballers, including the somehow not retired Blackburn legend Roque Santa Cruz. So first off, we tried out a league format. Halfway through, and this is how the table looked. A few surprises in there, with Southampton being reasonably low. Only 7 points separated 10th and 21st. The EFL were in 5th. And Newcastle were winning what looked to be a 6-horse race for the title. Ronaldo was being Ronaldo and was at the top of the goal scoring charts, tied with lack of threat. Original Palace flop Sorloth was making up up for lost time in third. Son was top of the assist chart and 4 were sharing the Golden Glove. 3 games to go, Villa were plummeting to relegation. The EFL had lost some form and were down to 8th. Newcastle also slowed down and were in 5th. Chelsea, Liverpool, the much improved Man City and Man United were the top 4. All 4 of them could realistically win the league, and the final table showed us that Brentford took the wooden spoon. League winners Leicester finished in a disappointing 12th. EFL were in 8th, and the top 4 involved the same teams as 3 games ago. Just this time, City taking the top spot by just a single goal. Clearly going into Pep mode, City's second half of the season proving too strong and they took home the accolade. Son kept his place in the top of the assist chart and Lacazette tore it up to take home the golden boot. Haaland bucked up his ideas and finished in second, for once, while CR7 netting a still impressive 24 goals. Moving on to a cup, we put the top 16 into a straight knockout competition. City beat Newcastle, United beat Brighton, Liverpool beat the EFL, Arsenal beat Everton, Spurs beat Southampton, Wolves beat Forest and Leicester beat Bournemouth on pens. The quarter-final, City beat United, Arsenal beat Liverpool, Chelsea beat Spurs and Leicester beat Wolves. On to the semi-finals we went. Here was the draw. Up first we had City versus Arsenal. Early on Foden was called offside and I'm not sure about those lines. Can we see a different angle? I'm sure that's
They've restarted the game.
Yeah, they've restarted. Yeah.
Can't do anything.
No, fuck me then. Odegaard had the first shot, but his effort from distance was comfortably held by Ederson. The other Norwegian tried one-upping his native friend and did the same thing, but the same result, comfortable for Szczesny. Both teams were being boring and piss-arsing around with the ball too much. Neither deserved to have any highlights shown, so here's them looking mopey and wet. Not even the usually bouncing Etihad could be heard. Would the second half be any better? Hardly. It took 15 minutes for either team to conjure up a tangible effort on goal, but an attempted slide rule pass led to nothing. Again. Gundogan then played this absolute dream of a pass with the outside of his weak foot, playing in Sane. One-on-one, Wojciech Szczesny comes out on top. Golden boot winner lack of threat was on, as was familiar face in Gabriel Jesus. Jesus was straight into the action, and the short corner led to Sane, setting Gabriel up. Good save by Szczesny. Martinelli came on for Gnabry and showed his star quality right away, by standing off the pitch and watching the ball float out of play right in front of him. What a shit game. But Martinelli was soon through. A little off with the weight of pass from Odegaard, but Gabriel plays it to Saka, who just runs away from goal. Plays it back into Martinelli, who, what the shit game? The final attack of the game saw Gundogan burst into the Arsenal box, and he tried overplaying and Arsenal easily cleared. Into extra time we went. City brought off Haaland and replaced him with Jesus Navas. Yep. Guendouzi also snuck onto the pitch, and Arsenal had the first meaningful attack. It looked like they were having another classic overplay, but Xhaka played to Lacazette, who neatly backheeled it into Guendouzi's path. He took a few touches and put the ball in the back of the net. Matteo then sprinted over to celebrate with the very manager who sold him from the club.
It's over, mate. He's not going to buy you back now.
Into the second half, and in the final minute, Lacazette set up Saka, who had all the time in the world, but he shot straight at Ederson. Could that be costly for Arsenal? Nope. City ran out of time, and Arsenal were through to the final. On to the next semi. Easy. And it was Chelsea versus Leicester. The first attack of the game saw Golden Boys De Bruyne and Salah linking up before De Bruyne played a 1-2 with James. KDB lets the ball run through his legs into Lukaku's path, and what a finish that is. Lovely goal. And the new old Chelsea will 1-0 up. Kovacic sidestepped the tackle far too easily, played into Salah, who found Lukaku. Schmeichel gets down low to make the save. Kovacic again on the run, plays into Salah. His shot is pushed away by Kasper. KDB follows it up and plays into James, but he gets caught. And Leicester's Fofana clears. Chelsea were in full control and Lukaku played in Werner, who did Werner things and missed his one-on-one chance. In a similar vein to their title-winning side, Leicester were looking to strike on the counter, and they created a good chance for themselves when Barnes played into Maddison. He, Kante and Kramaric with a lovely triangle. Maddison then overplays and passes into an offside Mahrez. Another pointless graphic here to waste 5 seconds of your life. The first meaningful attack of the second half saw Salah in a one-on-one with Fofana and Mo opting to shoot when a pass to the bursting Lukaku was probably the better option.
Where you fucking coming from?
Werner was then allowed to run straight at the Leicester defence, probably because they knew he wouldn't do any damage, and they were right. Tomori was on for Ake, and Super Jamie Vardy was on for the quiet Kramaric. Just over 20 minutes to go, and the Foxes needed a goal. Kante played into Vardy, he backheeled into Tielemans, who slotted in Harvey Barnes. Big chance, he slots it home. Equaliser. Chelsea were in panic mode, Jorginho went long, and Salah was angry with Harvey for ruining his big return, so tried snapping him in half. Neither team looked likely to score, summed up by KDB unleashing from distance. Good save from Kasper. Timo Werner was off, and on came the man responsible for the video, the iconic Eden Hazard. Leicester saw him warming up and clearly shat themselves, so hooked off Kante, Mahrez and Maddison for 2 defenders and Dewsbury Hall. Hazard was involved right away and played through Kovacic, but he couldn't get his shot off in time and the chance was gone. Chelsea was straight back on the attack and Kovacic played in Salah, and what the actual tits was that? Massive moment, full time. Into extra time we went, Leicester were ruthless, 1 shot, 1 goal. Havertz was on for Lukaku, straight into action, Kai set up the ever dangerous Kovacic. Tidy save by Kasper. Kasper then took a wide free kick that went straight to Chelsea. Havertz has it, chance to shoot, but he breezes breezes past FaZe instead and then shoots. Good recovery from Schmeichel. A bit of chaos in the box led to a panicked clearance from Kasper. Kovacic heads down to KDB, back into Matteo. He plays in Havertz. Kasper again making up for an error. Chelsea are battering Leicester here, and Kovacic again with the ball. He plays to Havertz. A good chance, but once more Kasper says no. Kovacic was off, and on came the golden boy Enzo. Oh dear, those graphics are really crap. To emphasise Leicester's defensive approach, James Justin was shifted into centre mid. He played into Dewsbury Hall, into Castagne, inside to Vardy. He holds up the ball and plays a neat pass through to Dewsbury Hall. Hold on, he's in here. Great chance. Surely he passes it, and he does. And Justin, wow. Wing back turn centre mid. James Justin has put Leicester 2-1 up here, soaking up all the pressure, then being deadly in attack. Unreal scenes, so much passion. Hazard and Chelsea had 10 minutes to save their cup dream. Havertz had a chance to play KDB in, but instead plays to Enzo, who bursts into the box and plays an absolute killer of a cross into KDB, who smashes it home and grabs the equaliser. Enzo showing Kovacic how it's done. Massive goal. That was full time. Off to penalties we went. Jorginho scored, Vardy scored, KDB missed, Dewsbury Hall scored, Hazard scored, Herrera missed, Salah scored, Gray missed, and it was on Kai to win the game. Straight down the middle. Chelsea had done it. Absolute heartbreak for Schmeichel and the gang. But Chelsea were through to the final, where they'd meet London rivals Arsenal. For Arsenal, Lacazette and Torreira were in for Giroud and Xhaka, and for Chelsea, Enzo was in for Kovacic. The first chance of the game came to Arsenal as Torreira played to Partey, who drove forward, past to Lacazette, and his shot from distance was well saved by Courtois. And he's buzzing. Arsenal worked the ball into Torreira, whose shot dragged narrowly wide, though Halibut seemed more comfortable than perhaps he should have. Chelsea's first attack was led by Lukaku, who played into Werner, into KDB, back into Lukaku. He sets Werner and shoots, but it's off the post. But the chance hasn't gone, and KDB plays in Werner. Big chance, big save by Shazezel back. Chelsea were knocking the ball around well, and Lukaku found Werner, who again was wasteful and hit it straight at Saliba. Arsenal's turn to move the ball around nicely, and Torreira turned Silva, only to overplay and lose the ball. Torreira was pulling the strings and he danced past Jorginho. Luka then shooting from distance, pushed away by Tiny Butt. Salah had been quiet through the first half, and his first shot on target was a long-range one with his weak foot, palmed away by The final shot of the half came to Enzo as KDB laid him off, and his effort had Wojciech scurrying back, but it was well wide. Half-time, tense first 45. Who would be the match winner? Chelsea made a half-time change and brought on the great Eden Michael Walter Hazard. Could he retire on a wild high? Well, nothing much happened for the first 15, but he did win Chelsea a corner. Xhaka came on for the lively Torreira. Nothing came from the corner. Martinelli on for Gnabry. Kovacic on for Enzo. 15 minutes to go. Xhaka was doing Xhaka things and got himself a yellow for a naughty tackle on Salah. Arsenal were here to spoil the party, and Lacazette teed up Odegaard, who probably should have slotted in Saka, but instead shot and Courtois saved. Arteta reacted by hooking the Arsenal captain off, and on came semi-final winner Guendouzi. The final attack of the game came as Partey played a weldy diag to Saka, who cut inside Ake, drove towards the goal, but was wasteful with his pass. Courtois choosing to see out the rest of the game and go to extra time. The fans looked miserable, drained of their passion. On to extra time we went. Huge call from Poch here as Havertz came on for KDB. Substitute Gabriel Palista played into Lacazette, who set through Xhaka one-on-one with Courtois, but he freezes and takes too long, eventually shooting off the post. Big chance there, but it's still alive, and Martinelli works it to Xhaka, but again the Swiss destroyer brain farts. You donkey! Nothing much happened, and João Felix was on for Salah. João's first kick was a corner. His cross was attacked by Hazard, but it was saved by Szczesny. That's the one. And that was half time. Hazard showed us that he's still got it with this naughty little flick over Timber.
Cheers.
Then Kovacic did the same over Gabriel, but the ref was furious with Matteo for trying to steal Eden's thunder on his last game, so told him to get up.
You dickhead!
Saka then burst down the line and just kept going and going and going, and he's in the box and he's made it 1-0. That was so simple, and it's a massive goal. Arsenal have 10 minutes to hang on here. 4 minutes to go and Felix has the ball out wide. He skips past Tierney and delivers a deep cross. Havertz is there. What a save by Szczesny. That is a massive save, and he knows it. Last chance for Chelsea, but they're taking 4 years to get forward, and that was that. Arsenal had spoiled the Eden Hazard party, but managed to take home the trophy and claim to be the best OG squad in cup competition. Seems fitting that a former player is the one to pick the trophy up at the end. Do you think Arsenal or Man City are the real winners? Comment and like if you know how to spell Wojciech Szczesny. Subscribe if you start chess games with the London Opening, and let us know what experiment you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the flip-flop. The end.